Howdy. So this is my 2100 CD. I showed a video in the fall of it running great, and the spring I haven't been able to get it running well. I dropped it off at the shop. It was a Husqvarna dealer. I figured that they would be able to do something. Turns out they're more of a replacement company, a part replacement company. So basically they weren't willing to touch it because they can't get parts. The issues it was having, it was leaking out the exhaust port, and I think I figured that out. This surface here wasn't flush, and it's still not perfectly flush, but I got it down with a sharpening stone to a fairly decent, so I got good contact all the way around. I'm going to put some the exhaust gasket a little bit, was it RTV red copper or whatever it is, around here, and see if that helps. I'll let it dry and go. While I had it off, I put it on the wire wheel and then hit it with some high temp black, so it looks good. But like here, you can see where it was blowing out the top and the bottom, and I can see it on the gasket I added. It didn't have a gasket when I got it. So that was my one issue, which is really minor. I can live with that. A little bit of a leak. My other issue is that it's not running, not idling. And I was thinking about the stuff I did over the winter. One of the things I did was I put a new sprocket on there. When I put the sprocket on there, I removed the oiler and got rid of all the sawdust and crap that was inside of there. And I have a theory that perhaps all that sawdust was actually acting as a seal. The crankcase bearing for this saw is actually in the oiler. I didn't replace the O-ring that was in the back of this either. So I'm going to pull this off today, take the O-ring over to Napa, get a new O-ring, and go. So let me start. I'll show you how to take one of these apart. If you can't get to this point here, you shouldn't be doing this at all. I'm not a expert or a mechanic, but if you watch my other videos, if you're not a subscriber, you'll see that I tend to fix my own stuff. So just by YouTube and following and using some critical thinking. So first step is to remove the air cleaner. There, and there's 3 screws. I'm in my running clothes right now, so I'm trying to stay off camera. I just came back from a run. There's 3 screws to hold this top cover on. You need to take this off so I can get to the spark plug. I put a carb kit in this already, but I actually have another carb coming. I want to make sure it's not a carb issue, so I have another carb kit and a carb. So between the two of them, I have a new fuel line. I thought I actually ordered a fuel filter, but apparently I didn't. So I'm going to hold off on doing the fuel line until I get the fuel filter so I can do both at the same time. Yeah, this is a 1982. I did a compression check on it when I got it, and I had over 150 pounds of pressure. So at this point there's 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 that hold this top plate on. That gives you access to the spark plug. Now I need a wrench. I pulled the spark plug out so I can block the piston from coming up with a piece of rope so that I can remove the clutch. So yeah, let me get the socket. There you go. Get it off. Okay. Spark plug is black and a little bit wet. It's not a nice golden color. It's not too bad. I just put the spark plug in over the winter, so it doesn't have a lot of time on it. I have the muffler off. I'm going to pull out the rag I have blocking that hole so that I can see the light. What I want is to be above that gasket. and then fill the hole with rope. So I get a piece of rope. And that'll stop the piston from moving up when I take this nut off. Should be enough rope. Again, almost to the top. Okay. If you go too far, pull it around, do it again. You don't want it to get caught in the exhaust port. Pain in the neck, I did that once. Basically, want to fill up the cylinder. And they make a tool to do this. I don't have that tool. See, I went too far. You want to jam enough rope in. You don't want to scratch your piston, so I'm just pushing it down. Okay, that's good and jammed. Okay, now it's loose. It uses a reverse thread. It says right in the front of the clutch, right here, off. Pull my rope out. Okay, here's your clutch. There's actually, you can measure these and figure if you're in spec. I measured it when I put it on there. I'll put this aside. And we'll get myself a tin to put the stuff parts in. Never throw out your wife's old cookie sheets. They make great parts tins. Okay. Here's the new sprocket I just put on. The bearing was new. And well, here's my seal, and that ain't in there good, so pull that out. That's one of the seals. I'm gonna leave that on there and just pull out the whole oiler. Pull this plate off. Okay. And there's 3 screws to hold this on. And this channel that goes around the center here. Put my air cleaner so it's nice and clean. Yeah, I can get that in there. It's usually best to go around and loosen up each one just a little bit, rather than take one all the way out. Anytime you're doing bolts on an engine. Okay. Once you got the first one coming, or last one coming, just take it all the way out, and we'll get the oil pump out. Okay, now that oil pump's free, and on the side here, there's a purchase point in a couple places where you can get to it. Over to the edge of the table. Here it comes. Okay. Now you can see right here, you can actually see the crank bearing right there. Let me move it to the side. The crank bearing is right there. And here's the oil pump. Let me make sure I have that in the camera. And see, that rubber part looks like it's junk. So I'm going to get a new one of those. Here's the brass worm gear that works. The oiler bushing that goes against the back plate, and right along the back here is the seal, and I can actually see the spring for the seal is over on my crankshaft, so that seal's junk. So I have a new seal coming. In a couple days I will do the rest of this video. There's also an O-ring right around the edge here, and I'm going to pull this O-ring off and go to Napa and get a new O-ring. I'll clean all these parts, clean this inside up, and then put it away for a couple days, and the rest of this video will probably be later on this week. But yeah, I don't have any play up and down, side to side, so the crank is good, but the bushing is bad, or the seal is bad. So I'm suspecting, like I said, that the reason it ran good in the fall was there was so much sawdust caked inside in this oiler, an oil pump, that it was acting as a seal. That's my theory, at least. So step one will be to put the new seal on the oil pump, clean all this up, put it all back together, and see if it runs like it should. If that doesn't work, I'll take that new carb I have and put that on. After I clean it and put the carb kit in it, and we'll go from there. So yeah, part 2 will be a couple days.